They tell you this is independent fact-checking, a quality mark in a world drowning in disinformation. But what if the system created to protect the truth is itself the most sophisticated tool of manipulation? What if the arbiters of truth are funded by those whose reputations they protect? We live in an age where information is no longer destroyed. It is not burned in public squares. It is simply made invisible. Inconvenient opinions and dangerous investigations are not banned. They are quietly pushed to the bottom of the digital ocean, where no one will ever see them.
Fact-checking was presented to us as the solution. Noble experts, armed with principles and ethics, separating truth from fiction. A neutral institution of trust, the last line of defense against informational chaos. And we wanted to believe it, because the idea itself sounded good.
But in any system of control, the main question is always the same. Who controls the controllers? Who gives these organizations a license to define truth? Who decides that their standards are the benchmark of objectivity? The answer turned out to be far more disturbing than expected.
There is a global network, a kind of central hub that accredits the right fact-checkers. To gain access to moderation tools on the largest platforms, organizations must pass through this certification process. It is not just a recommendation. It is a pass into the highest league. The certification process is built around compliance with a code of principles. On paper, everything looks flawless. Impartiality, transparency of sources, methodology. But in practice, it becomes a bureaucratic filtering mechanism for excluding those who do not fit a particular ideological frame. After passing this ritual of admission, an organization receives a direct channel to the moderation departments of tech giants. Its verdicts become the basis for labeling content, and sometimes for stronger measures. These groups become the official censors of the new digital world. And here we reach the most interesting part. Let us follow the financial flows that feed this system. Where do these independent experts get the resources for their global operations? The picture that emerges resembles a perfectly closed circuit. The key sponsors of this international network are the very technology corporations whose platforms it is supposed to cleanse. They invest millions of dollars into a structure that will later decide which content on their own platforms is reliable and which is not. But this is only the first level. The second, deeper layer of funding consists of major private foundations, the same foundations known for promoting very specific political and social agendas around the world. Their money is never neutral. It is always an investment in the future. A paradoxical scheme emerges. Corporations and foundations finance an independent network. The network accredits the right fact-checkers. And those fact-checkers protect the reputations of their sponsors by suppressing criticism under the banner of fighting fake news. The official version is philanthropy, a concern for the purity of the information space. But if you look at the structure of connections, it looks more like buying a global insurance company. Reputation risk insurance, paid for by the very actors who may one day need protection. Old censorship was straightforward. An inconvenient article was simply removed, causing outrage and attracting even more attention. The new system is much smarter. It does not ban. It makes content invisible, leaving no trace of direct intervention. This quiet execution works through algorithmic reach reduction. Your post, your video, is not deleted. It still exists. But the platform algorithm, after receiving a signal from a fact-checker, simply stops recommending it to anyone. It sinks into the endless feed. The verdict of a certified expert becomes a digital signal, a command for the system. It tells the algorithm, this content is toxic. Reduce its visibility to the minimum. And the machine executes the order without hesitation, hiding information from millions of users. Even more importantly, neural networks are trained on the basis of these verdicts. Artificial intelligence learns to recognize undesirable patterns in topics, words, and arguments. Over time, it begins to suppress similar content automatically, even without human involvement. This is no longer manual moderation. It is an automated global architecture for managing visibility. The system decides in real time which ideas deserve discussion and which should silently disappear before reaching a wide audience. You are allowed to keep the illusion of free speech. You may publish anything you want. But the right to be heard no longer belongs to you. It belongs to those who control the algorithms. You shout from the stage, not knowing the microphone has already been switched off, and the hall is empty. This is how an artificial, managed consensus is formed. When all alternative viewpoints are systematically suppressed, the official version begins to look like the only possible one. It echoes from everywhere, creating a powerful echo chamber. This is how the Overton window narrows, the range of ideas society is allowed to consider acceptable. But it narrows not through public debate or legislation, but through invisible code and corporate agreements hidden from ordinary users. This affects every one of us. You begin to doubt your own perception. If no one else is talking about the problem you see, maybe it does not exist. Maybe you are the one who is wrong. This is a subtle form of digital gaslighting on a planetary scale. The greatest power of the 21st century is not the power to ban, but the power to shape reality. To create the information background that determines our views, our fears, and our choices in voting booths and supermarkets. And today, this reality is being constructed by a small group of people who were never elected and answer to no one. They are the architects of the new censorship, tied together by a complex web of financial and ideological obligations, hiding behind the curtain of independent expertise. We are no longer dealing with a simple fight against fake news. We are facing a sophisticated system of influence, disguised as a public good. Its details are hidden in corporate reports, and its work is buried in the lines of code that govern our news feeds. The system is designed so that its true goals remain in the shadows. Its funding looks like charity, and its actions look like neutral moderation. But its structure points unmistakably to the real objective: total control over the narrative. So the next time you see a label saying, "Verified by independent experts," remember the invisible machine behind it. Remember the financial flows leading back to the sponsors. And remember the algorithmic signals that decide what you are allowed to see today. Then ask yourself the real question. In this brave new world, where truth has become a commodity, who pays the salaries of those who have been granted a monopoly on defining it? And what version of truth are they buying for us?